Hopefully I can get through this. But it is one of the saddest days in my life. And boy, never thought the day would come, but I was prepared. I would like to mention that, and this isn't, you can believe it or not, and it is kind of insane, but when my mother and father passed away, there was owls seen. Just before my mother passed, my brother saw an owl. Just before my father passed, I saw an owl. And the ironic thing about that is, for some reason, I don't know, I never asked my father, but he had a tattoo of an owl on his arm. Never knew why he got it. I never asked, but I'm assuming he liked the bird, of course. Let alone, I don't know. He kind of didn't believe in the spirit world and stuff, but he most definitely looked up a lot of stuff on Native Americans, and so did I. But why I mention this, and in my findings and my roots that I have looked up on the owl, because some do believe it is a, and I gotta go back on the date of this. Believe me, there's a point to the method of this madness. And, yeah, I gotta do my dating on this, the dates of when this occurred. But the owl, like I said, and what I've learned and what I think it is for, it is to prepare you for death. Prepare you for someone getting ready to pass. And like I just said in the beginning of this, my father passed, owl showed. My mother passed, owl showed up. Not only that, I seen another owl, and a person that I took care of and lived with, he passed. So the crazy part of this story is, and I am still in just disbelief of Ozzy's passing. But like I said, I was prepared. Looking at that poor fragile man on that stage, not being able to stand up. And I did watch some videos on that last. I wish I could have streamed live, and I wish I could have donated money, but right now I'm in the hole, going through some rough times. But it's just weird, because they said right about a week ago, Ozzy did his show. Yeah, it's been about a week. Not only that, as I'm talking here about owls and the meaning of an owl, getting you prepared or ready, or there's going to be a known pass away. That's what I get from the owl and the meaning of it. Well, sure and shit, people, I have down right now on video here on YouTube a video of an owl that flew out in front of my effing truck, and at the time perched on a pole. Now at first I joked around and said, but then again, it couldn't have been a joke. I mean, it could be true, and it could happen if it was my demise, if I'm going to die. But I guess no. And when I look up the dates on this, bear with me, I'm going to fence it. I'm going to have more info on this, and I think I'm gonna be pretty damn close on that, because a week later, seeing the owl, and it was not too long, like I said, my mother and father passed that the owls were seen. Prepare yourself. Preparation. And here it is a week later, and I saw that damn owl. I have pictures of it. I took a video of it. It's up here on YouTube. But if you look at the dates, I wonder if they all line up. And not only that, call me crazy if you want, but I don't care, because I do believe into the Native American spiritual world. And yes, today, hawk flies out. And of course, I was riding with my wife, and she's like, oh, look at that fucking bird. Comes out, and it's pretty much, I'd say, about 12 feet from my truck, up in the air, flying and perches on a telephone pole. And stops. I look at it, and it was literally looking down at me. And the last time this happened, which, like I say, you can believe it or not, a friend of mine in 2019 passed away, didn't know about it. A hawk flew on the side of the truck I was driving, my truck, whatever, near the effing passenger window, mind you, staring into the window. And I'm looking at this like trying to grab my phone or record this, but it flew away and perched up on a telephone pole. I'm getting chills up fucking back of my spine. 2 days later, I get a message on Facebook from one of my close friends that literally me and him hung around with this kid, saying he passed away. I'm like, what the So owl, hawk, whatever you may call it. Yeah, that's a crazy experience right now. Oh, commenting here. Oh, sorry, folks. I like to take my nightly walk and do my videos. What's this, are we? What the fuck, airlines? What's that thing to you? And part take off. Wow, you guys are ruthless here, huh? What the fuck, airlines? And do you perhaps partake of lich? Oh shit! Oh, substances. No, I do not do drugs. And welcome to the airlines of what the fuck. That's what I say. You can believe it or not. I don't care. This is stuff that I have experienced with my own eyes. What I, read into. And if you're not into the supernatural spirit world like me, hey, of course you're not going to believe it. Do your research like I have, and you will know. And you will. Just like I took in part of opening and reading the King Philip War book, Great Powwow. And mind you, I opened it a week after the first Indian Native American War started, back in 1676, or 75, sorry. You can look that up. That's right. But seeing that owl, and this will even make more sense, because I'll tell you something. And the reason why I think all this occurred is because I am a huge Aussie fan. I mean, I've been listening to Ozzy since the age of 5. I've said it in other videos. I'll say it again. When I first heard the Black Sabbath song titled Black Sabbath, on the Black Sabbath album, I was 5 years old. Sitting in my room, I'm doing a post on Facebook of this. Just gotta post it, explaining what happened. But I was sitting there in my room. I heard my older brother come home. He must have just bought the record. And he was pretty much running upstairs to his room. You can hear his footsteps. And about 10 minutes later, I don't know, I was messing around with my toys. I don't know, messing around with a record player. Whatever the case may be, the first riff of Black Sabbath hit the guitar. You know, I'm like, what the fuck? I literally, at 5 years old, stood up, looked at the ceiling, and I'm like, whoa. I didn't know if I wanted to be scared or just like it. I was just like, what is that? And I did screenshot a picture of Ozzy standing by Randy Rhoads. Back, obviously, when he first, probably got in the studio with him. And, of course, Randy Rhoads had a guitar in his hand, and Ozzy's looking at him with his eyes bugging out of his head, of course. And there you go, boom. Am I on drugs? No. Check my comments again. Guess everybody left that didn't like what I was saying here. I'm on drugs. Welcome to airport. What the fuck? Or airlines. What was it? Airlines. That's fucking funny. I gotta remember that. Welcome to what the fuck airline. Crazy train, more like it. But when I was standing there listening to this fucking song blare through the whole house, and I believe my brother did have and was trying to play guitar at the time, was strumming along with it. But when I heard that first fucking song, man, I was hooked. There was no doubt about it. It was just like, right. And I was a person at that time, a kid. I was exploring all kinds of music. It wasn't just heavy metal. It wasn't just rock and roll. Charlie Pride, Dolly Parton, the Beach Boys, Sean Cassidy, David Cassidy. The list goes on. John Denver. I was all into that stuff. And then there was Ted Nugent, AC/DC. All these bands that were just popping up in my brother's room. My mother had the other albums, of course, but all these hard rocking bands that I started, like, whoa, Alice Cooper. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? I'm looking at the walls. My brother's got concert shirts. Diary of a Madman was probably one of my favorite albums and is one of my favorite songs, Diary of a Madman. Because I felt like that person sitting in the room screaming at the window. And that's how my childhood was. There was a lot of things in my life that had just flew over my head. I was pretty much left alone as a child. And that fucking song hit right at home. I just felt like that person in the song. Screaming at the window, watch me die another day. Because I'd get out, I'd run around, I'd have friends. But the majority of my time I spent in my room listening to stuff. And once I first heard that Black Sabbath, I was going to run up. I knew I was going to get my ass whooped because there was no way in hell and chance that I was not going to run up in that attic, grab that thing and bring it down to my record player. That's right. I was going to blare that shit. Just like Van Halen, people. 1981, Fair Warning came out. Sinner Swing. And she looked so fucking good, so sexy and so fresh. Literally, I had that album scratched at fucking. That's right. She looked so fucking. Oh, my brother found that. and knew that it was me. And I heard him coming down them attic steps and beat my ass. But when I heard that Black Sabbath boy, I knew I was going to get another ass whooping. Because I was going to run right up there after he left and play that sucker over and over. And you hear the Wizard and Wall Asleep. And, you know, it was like, what? In 5 years old, I mean. Music like that, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I didn't give a shit because I loved it. I was hooked right on it. You know, later on in that time, I had this apparition dream. And it was in that house that I started to get hooked on Ozzy Osbourne. I had this weird dream. Well, a couple of them actually, but one of them was literally, and there was a concert in 1982. Or 80, yeah, I think it was 82 maybe. And I'd never seen the concert. I literally saw the original concert. Someone had put it on YouTube. And it was, I don't even think it was even released yet. But I had this dream that I was, and when I seen the concert on YouTube, it looked identical to the dream I had before I moved out of that house on 52 East Main Street in Air, Mass. But what happened in the dream was just so creepy, freaky, but kind of gave me a revelation, let alone like a revelation, Mother Earth. Another great song by Mr. Ozzy. But it gave me a definite sign, I can tell you that. And the sign was, I was pretty much alone in life, especially with my family at the time. But I think it was like a sign saying I might be alone without my family, and it did happen. It did. Got to the point where we weren't just a family no more. It was just going after each other, you know, fighting. Just nasty stuff that just went down. And I mean, whether or not it meant something to me, but I will never forget that dream. And I had a dream before that concert, but it wasn't even recorded. So it's just bizarre how that even went down. Insane. But I mean, later on, of course, when Ultimate Sin came out, and I still have my original shirt from the Ultimate Sin tour, but I was 13 years old, went to the Ozzy Osbourne concert. I found the original flyer, you should say, a poster on that, and where it was in New Hampshire, and Raven opened up. Pretty funny band they were. They had some alright music. I did get the album, and I still have the cassette. But and I got to see Queensryche in their prime when they first, and that was in 1986. And when they first came out, I think they came out in 85. So they might have been on their second album. I got to see them, Raven, and then Ozzy came on. And damn, not only that, mind you, I went to Ozzy Osbourne, 13 years old, and I rode in the back of a hearse. Yeah, you heard that correctly, a hearse. Not only a hearse, but a hearse with a human skull stuck in between the driver's window and looking into the back of where the body lays. Right in that little window had a skull. Even the people that were taking the tickets that day looked in and said, "What the fuck is that?" Brothers laughing at him. I'm looking out the window by the skull, mind you. Like sticking out, smiling. And they were all like, "What the fuck, man? Is that real?" My brother said, I can't say nothing. No comment. Paid, went in, parked. And that concert was fucking radical. I mean, it was just um, hyperactive. You couldn't get a fucking better show than then. Ozzy was fucking hopping on that stage, and I mean, I barely got to see the full show because there were like fucking 6-foot dudes in front of me. And at the time, I might have been about 5'5", so I'm like hopping over people. And I am pissed off at my brother still to this day because he got us the front stage. And he took me away from it. And I was like, I ain't fucking going nowhere. I was holding the rack. You're coming with me. I'm like, fuck you. And he pulled me out. I had to go all the way in the fucking middle. And I'm still hold that grudge against him. He said, you would have passed out. Fuck you, I would have passed out. Motherfucker, bastard, son of a bitch. But I was like maybe 13 rows back, but I still couldn't really see much. But whatever, I stuck my head through and got the amazing show. It sounded awesome. Jakey Lee, you know, he was a good fit. Too bad he got ripped off for what he did, but you know, later on, I had my posters. I still got a lot of posters left over, shirts, and all that. And I've been doing videos of it, putting up. I gotta have some more stuff I gotta put up, but today in Worcester, the Worcester Centrum had a nice picture of Ozzy, rock in peace, it said, and had his date of birth in 2025. I literally stopped and took a picture of that. I wasn't missing that. So I'm going to be putting that up too here on, you know, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. I'm plastering that all over. A fucking awesome image of Ozzy back in his prime. And I think it was the, can honestly say it was probably 1987. No, I had a lot of posters of that guy from Rip Magazine, Hit Parader Magazine. I even had an album that I lost on the Jersey Turnpike. It broke. But it had Ozzy back in 82 of the, with his, there was a shirt that I still have that shirt too. And I forgot to fucking put that up. I'll have to put that up in my next shot. But I got a shirt of Ozzy with a henchman and an axe. And it literally shows the henchman standing next to Ozzy, and he chops his head off. And I still have that fucking shirt to this day. And mind you, the story behind that shirt, I didn't get it from the concert, but someone walked in the store that I knew where I lived in Air, and it was the 5 and Dime at the time. And mind you, I said, I want that shirt. And here I am, fucking what? Probably only 7, 8 years old, right? He's like, you can't have this shirt. He said he paid $20 for that shirt. And it was back in 82, I think. Or maybe it was 84. Around that time, I don't know, but I told my mother, I said, what do you want to fucking get that shirt off your back and give it to me? He says, I want 2 packs of cigarettes, a hamburger, and a 2-liter of Coke. Because my mother worked in the 5 and Dime, them microwave hamburgers that just came out, and that little bastard wanted one. Yeah, that's right, that little bastard wanted that hamburger, he wanted the smokes, and he wanted that goddamn 2-liter. So I stormed in the store, I looked at my mother, I said, 2 packs of smokes, 2-liter, and I'm heating this man up right here, a hamburger. She looks at me, what the f? I said, see that shirt? That's my shirt. So you give him this man what he wants. I got the shirt. I had to wait one day because he had to, well, not a day, but he had to run home and change it. He wasn't going to take it off, walk home bareback. But he came back and he, honest man, got the fucking shirt off, gave it to me, all for 2 packs of smokes, a hamburger, and a 2-liter of fucking Coke. What goes wrong with that? Yeah, that's right. And I still got that shirt to this day. It's all freaking shredded and ripped. I wish it didn't fuck up, but hey, what can you do? No, I got a lot of stuff. And I even took these two mirrors my older brother had, which he disgraced the fucking, these two mirrors that are collectible items of Black Sabbath. And I'm glad I did take them because they would have ended up right in the fucking trash. But I have them. You know, I got a lot of stuff left over. Posters I bought off a rack from Prime Value Mart, or Kmart too used to have them. But these two stores over there in Leominster, no, not the Water, Kmart Plaza. Got posters there, I still got them. Diary of a Madman, I got a velvet glow-in-the-dark poster, along with Guns N' Roses. But I still got that. And now, man, it's just, oh, man. I was driving to Worcester today because I had to go do some work. DoorDash and pick up a mattress. So I do Angie's List. And pick up mattresses, right? And on the way down there, I literally started tearing up, choking up, and didn't think I'd make it. But when Lita Ford and Ozzy came on, Closed My Eyes Forever, all of that hit. You know, man, I was in the 7th grade. And my father at the time was just being a straight up bastard. I don't know what I ever did. But he was just being mean, cruel. And you know, I mean, the guy did work 12 hours at a, who the hell is this? At the Bull Run in Air. And, the hell? I thought they were stopping to yell at me or something. And, let's go Pug. But I mean, I don't know if he was just overtired. I don't know, he got cranky. I know one time a bunch of friends of mine wanted to come on over a birthday party. I think I was 13. Yeah, it was my 13th birthday party. So I got a concert. My friends wanted to come over. Yeah, let's have a party. And all right. I tell my father he can give me a cake. Fuck it. What does he do? He makes the fucking thing. Don't put happy birthday on it. Throws it on the table. Here's your fucking cake. As all my friends are sitting there. One kid to this day, my man Eddie Torres, Spanish kid, fucking just sat there just appalled with this look on his face. Did he just do that? Here's your fucking cake. Bah! Slams it right in the middle of the table. Shit shifts. The frosting plops all over the place. And I'm thinking, wow, what the fuck? I don't know what the hell his problem was, but, you know, whatever. It just went down like that, right? And I got a book report to come up, or say so, like an autobiography type thing. Teacher asked, you know, I want you to write down something about what your father means to you, what your father has done for you. And when this all went down, it was like kind of a humiliating, embarrassing. And, you know, all the kids were laughing, but still it was just like, what the fuck you doing, old man? And I didn't do nothing to my father at this point in time in my life. I tried to be a good kid. I wasn't getting in his face. I stayed to myself. But I write this book report about Ozzy. And I've been trying to get a hold of the teacher because he is still around. But he has not took my call because I wanted to get his thoughts, let alone what he thought of me. I know what he said to me, but I want to know what he really thought of me coming out with that, because, you know, here I am writing about Ozzy Osbourne. I consider him my dad, because, he sings to me. He comes out with albums every year. He's there for me. And that's what Ozzy does, right? He throws out his albums. He knows the fans are there. And you know what? I just made this up tonight. For as long as I've been a fan of Ozzy, I've never heard this. The Oz Father. And I put it in one of my posts. That's right, and I'm going to label it tonight. You got the Godfather, now you got the Oz Father. That's right. Did I just make that up? Has anybody heard of that? I don't know. But I know I haven't, and I've been a fan since 5 years old. I remember doing the Oz Moses album, but the Oz Father, that's right. That's right. I made that up today. Put it in my post. And, I just wanted to see what this teacher thought of me and what he thought of me with that fucking book report, even if he remembered what I wrote. I can remember parts of it, but he sat there and said, you can't use him as your father. He ain't your biological father. This guy must have thought I was a fucking nut, right? But I told him, you know what? You tell that to my father. He's hardly there. I think I did say something about my birthday party. He fucking throws a cake on the table. All my friends in there making me look like a fool. What the fuck? And every year Ozzy comes out with an album, he makes me feel good. He's there, and every time I would hear a song, there was always one song on an album that hit, boom, right to the gut, man. And you can relate. That's what Ozzy and Black Sabbath did for me. Even though, Ozzy didn't stay in Black Sabbath for a long time. Got the boot, and there have been other Black Sabbath albums. I hate to be a traitor, but I'm not. Like Dio, they had some good stuff, but nothing compares to the Oz Father. That's right. So, oh man, my tribute to that man. He has gotten me through some dark times with his music. And, you know what? It's just, all the stories you hear about him and other artists and taking credit for their lyrics and songs. I can understand that. Ozzy, don't get me wrong, he did write in the beginning with Black Sabbath. And they claim he wrote the Black Sabbath song. And of course, the one that hit me the most when I first heard it. That's right. He did do his deeds. But for whatever reason, right, I would say the drugs took over. Alcohol took over. Writing, I can tell you right now, as a retired alcoholic of 17 years, I'm sure I ain't got enough under my belt to cover up with Ozzy, but 17 years of what I used to do, drinking a gallon of rum, hey, a lot of 12 packs of beers, case and a half of beer, mind you, to myself. I tried writing lyrics, and I just recently went through my lyrics. And because of the times and the difficulties of drinking, yeah, my lyrics came out pretty, what the fuck was I writing? But now that I've cleared my mind of all booze and alcohol, I, mind you, have at least 70 original written lyrics that I put down on Suno right now. But the music I own off Suno. You put in your original lyrics, you own it. And I got like 70 songs written of lyrics by me. I've always wanted to join a band, but like I said, my depression, my alcoholism ruined that. I always kept my writing. I always kept trying to, do poetry and stuff like that. And I always listened to the Oz Father. That's right. And go figure, I wrote a blues song in 2022. Long before Ozzy on his last album, did a blues song called The Dark Blues or something. So if that wasn't a communication psychic thing, I wrote a blues song. He comes out with a blues song. You know, it's like, wow, that hit home for me, man. Because I've always loved the blues, another part of history of music. And it wasn't until I read this, I was looking into this creepy, you know, cabin in the woods in California, mind you, that I seen Robert Johnson. Now, I know of Robert Johnson. I kind of did not listen to his music, but Crossroads with Ralph Macchio, another awesome movie that I got to be able to watch on HBO, talking about Robert Johnson, blah, 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 the blues player, the 10 songs, right? But when I found out and I started listening to that man, it's like, whoa. That man did, right? To get to them crossroads deal if he comes, but I mean, a video out there. I want to go there literally. I got a acoustic guitar as we speak. A lot of places I'm going to, especially a trip out there to Birmingham, England, to pay tribute. Devastated, man. He did seem like he was gonna keep going, but yeah, you know, I did prepare myself for it, but I'm still getting choked up. Still can't take it into realization. I'm gonna try and call ZLX tomorrow and see if they'll play a couple Suno songs. Another thing I do on Suno is I take, and I did it with Ozzy and I did it with Black Sabbath. I took as many titled that sounded good, made a song with the title songs that they made, and I took every title that was fitted into the, you know, my lyrics that I arranged. It's called Lyrics Arranged by Arch. So I made lyrics out of the titles of the songs. And I'm gonna see if they'll put them up on AAF tomorrow, because they're doing a tribute to Ozzy. I'm gonna call up and see if they'll do it. If they don't, they don't. But whatever. The songs I'm gonna be re-downloading, or let alone putting up on Facebook, or maybe redoing on TikTok or YouTube. Hopefully YouTube don't give me no shit of putting down videos that are duplicate. Kind of another thing, I got fucking kicked off the YouTube partner program. Thanks a lot, YouTube. But yeah. Other than that, that's what I'm gonna try and do. I mean, this is just a sad day in paradise. In the heavy metal community, the heavy metal world. And damn, like I said, Ozzy, to me, listening to him since 5 years old, hooked, just hooked. You know, my brother and his friend, a very dear friend, could have called him my uncle too, called Danny Cornelius. He lived in Shirley, a town over from us in there, and every time I seen that man, he'd always bust my chops. He had this thing, and he wanted me to memorize the words, but I couldn't find the effing words. And you would think these bastards would write it down for me. But in the album that I never was able to get, and I don't know if the cross is still in there, an inverted upside down cross. But within, I do have an image of it, but it's so blurry you can't even fucking read it. But within that cross, there is writing. And this man, Danny Cornelius, knew every word. Every fucking word of it. And every time he see me, he says, "You memorize them words yet?" And I keep telling him, "When you gonna write them down?" I said, "Well, they're in the first album." I said, "I don't got the first album and I don't got the cross. How do I even get it?" I'm saying, "You gotta get the first album." And I mean, I went into record stores looking for that album. And I couldn't find it. Probably sold out. But I never did get them words. I never did memorize. And that man used to always, well, yeah, let me say it to you. And he would always bust my fucking balls. He would sit there and recite the whole thing. And I'm like, "You bastard." So when you gonna write it down for me? I sit there left. "You gotta memorize them words when I say it." And I'm like, "You bastard." You know what? He was a cool fucking dude, man. He was really one of the original Black Sabbath fans. And to memorize all them words, man, that was a fucking awesome. So, I mean, these memories will always, until I either get dementia or fucking Alzheimer's, are gonna stay fresh in my mind. But to see and to take this loss of Ozzy, man, it is gonna hit hard. Cause, yeah, it was like family to me. Cause that's the only person besides, every other heavy metal band that I could go to when I was in my darkest hour. Put on an Ozzy song, I feel fucking better. But lately I've been, and I wish I could have fucking had him listen to my, song I arranged for him, but guess that ain't never gonna happen. I was hoping one day someone, even with my other songs, I have one for AC/DC, took all their title. I did one for Foreigner. I did one for Cinderella, another awesome band there. And I got some more I got to do, all up on TikTok, all up on YouTube if you want to check them out, especially the Aussie Black Sabbath. Oh, I did one for Black Label Society. I did one for Pantera. And Pantera, mind you, I wrote them lyrics. But because of my alcoholism, they weren't great back then. But when I did it all over and rewritten them, and there's still a lot of original wording in that song, was able to put that song together and make it perfect. And the music that Suno gave it to me even made it more perfect. But like I said, man, I did one for go. So there's a lot of stuff out there that I did do, and all up on YouTube. If you want to check out the Aussie Black Sabbath, they're titled "To Ozzy from Me, to Black Sabbath from me, to Dio from me." If you want to check any of them out, to Iron Maiden from me, you check out the Aussie Black Sabbath. But I would have loved to have heard him arrange them lyrics, but god damn it, I wasn't gonna try and send it to him. I did send a song to a rap song I did to NWA or Ice Cube. Didn't get no response or whatever. But we're gonna see what goes down on that. I'm gonna see if I can post that song on his page too. Anyways, just to get it out there, Ozzy. A tough pill to swallow today, folks, but I'm gonna head on in. Thank you for watching and joining. And no, I'm not on drugs, as the comment says. Oh, Tom, there you go, my big brother Tom. Yes, my man, he was. There's my kid yelling in the fucking house. If them kids ain't on a goddamn game, like fucking someone's gonna hear them. No, I got them coming down the fucking neighborhood. No! Surprised people don't call the cops. As you can see, there's no fucking noise right now, and my kids are, ah! You know, it's funny, I have a video of him when he was smaller. Hey, buddy, pay attention, fucking noise. Sounds like a fucking monster in there, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. The wife, he's bugging me, so I gotta get in and see what she wants. But I had to make this video. Ozzy, my man, rest in peace. And everybody now is to refer to Ozzy as the Oz Father. That's right. You got yourself the Godfather, now we got the Oz Father. No other way to speak of that man. I don't know why he wasn't knighted out there in England like Sir Paul McCartney and Sir, come on, Sir Elton John. I don't know why they didn't knight Tony Iommi and the rest of the guys. Why they didn't knight Ozzy is beyond me. He sang for the fucking Queen. Black Sabbath sang for the Queen. Why didn't she knight him that day? That pissing me off. Until the next video, folks, I gotta go inside. Cry out the fucking tears of madness and let the madness begin. No more Ozzy. Till the next video, be safe, take care. And always listen to Ozzy. Out. Shut up. Here.